So, Namaste everyone. So, this is our 30th session of Manav Vyavhar Darshan English translation. And Kevin had started the last week on with chapter 13, he completed. And now continuing with that is chapter 14. Kevin and Supriya both are doing from Germany. So I am presently located at Manav and the connectivity is a little poor and I need to join into some other meeting at 8:30. So Sanjeev Chopra Bhaiya will be standing in for me as a coordinator of this session. So thank you so much, Sanjeev Bhaiya, for that. And Kevin Bhai, this very good session, last one. And there was one feedback that had come from Rishta. It was very nice on the topic about uh, that how says Samriddhi, right? So she nicely explained in the flow chart. So I'll make that update, and that's the beauty of this exercise, that it is somehow basically it is helping us in improving this translation work and giving it a life by all of us participating in it. So once again, very warm welcome to you, Kevin, right? And
Thank you.
so please start.
Thank you very much, Rakesh Bhaiya. Namaste to everyone. I hope this time I got the right text because last time I used an older version of it. I found out later. I was reminded of. So now I took the one which was the last version 2 days ago, and I printed it out. I hope it is right. If not, please tell me something, then I will look at the screen and read from there. And one remark to the last session we had, Shilpa Didi also mentioned it. That of course, in a war situation, there are many factors which you have to take into consideration. If it came across that maybe I said that one action would be the right one only in the situation, then that is not the case. Of course, there are many factors to look into, but I found it very interesting that there are also other factors to look at than what we are looking at right now, because at the moment we have like a horse. We have this, I don't know what it's called in English. In German, it's Scheuklappen. You
We
only
call it
see.
blinders.
Yeah, right.
Blinders.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You just see in front, so you cannot look right, left and right. And this is how I feel very often. And then when we study the darshan and start to, get a little bit more broad overview and things come into perspective and you think about things or take things into consideration, which maybe you have not before. So this was one example just for this. And also I will leave some more time at the end today because we did not have much time for discussion last time. So I will leave some more time for that also, for discussion and for questions. I also have some questions. Maybe Rakesh Bhaiya will be there again or Sanjeev Bhaiya can answer. All right, I'll start from the beginning with chapter 14, the laws of human behavior. And at first, the headline of this topic, the laws of human behavior. In Hindi, it is written Manav Vyavhar Sahaj Niyam. So this Sahaj, probably is hard to translate into English in this headline. Sahaj for me would mean that these laws of human behavior are natural in existence in the system, in us humans, or in the family. So these are natural laws. These are not something which are made up by us, by us humans, by our imagination. These are laws which are there in existence, which we have to study, to understand, to realize. and to act according to them. So this is what this Manav Vyavhar Sahaj is meaning to me. And Manav Vyavhar, what is behavior, human behavior? I want to add to this that behavior actually only is of humans, because animals also look like they are behaving with each other, but there's not, I cannot say exactly how much, but not much thought behind the behavior. It is more biological or working on the first level of Jivankriya, not going into the higher levels of Jivankriya, like thought and deliberation, etc. So these are important for behavior. Um, so that's why only humans can have behavior, and the humans have relationships. We have a mother, we have a father, we have a sister and brother, which maybe only also to some degree animals have, but we also have uncles, and we recognize these relationships. We value those relationships. We nourish those relationships, and that's something through which I would distinguish us also to animals, where there's also some relationship, but it's more of a biological level to survive, and not to have mutual fulfillment. Yeah, so that's so much to the headline heading, and then we go right into the text. Humans are naturally inclined towards behavior. The presence of sentience is imperative in all human behavior of waking, dreaming, and sleeping states. So human behavior in waking, we know, we see and we understand, but in dreaming also we can kind of fathom how behavior would be in dreaming. We see other people in our dreams also. We also behave with them. We talk to them. We do all kinds of actions in dreams also, but also here he says that there's human behavior in the sleeping states, or deep sleep was another translation before which was used. Probably, or what I thought, that the word deep sleep was now not used anymore, because it is not so deep, at least when you are awakened. Because I heard that someone asked Nagaraj once, what is he doing if in his deep sleep in Sushupta Avastha? So then he answered that there's also deliberation or chintan in Sushupta Avastha. This is what I heard someone saying. I don't know if this is wrong. Maybe Rakesh Bhaiya can explain more about this either now or later in the quest in the.
Yeah, I could basically comment on that. So
Mhm,
yeah, he said that there is no sleeping is sleeping. It's just allowing the body to rest. That's
mhm,
all there is to it, right? And it doesn't have any dream state in terms of basically there is no unfulfilled desire uh, or so in that sense, so he's as the waking and sleeping state. The
mhm.
sleeping state is allowing the body to rest. That's all there is to it. Yeah. So I know
Okay.
that deep sleep has some meaning in terms of meditation, but
Mhm.
here he did not describe that as a state of something that he has in the state of his awakening. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
And
maybe can I just ask one question? So why is it called Sushupti and not Nidravastha?
Yeah, I do not know, Bhaiya, Raghava. So what he said was, I asked him that what does Sushupti means? He said sleeping, nothing more than that,
Understood.
right? So
Understood.
that's where it was, right?
okay. Um, So it would be interesting if he says that Enagaraji says that his body is sleeping, that if his mind also is shut off or shut down at that moment or not.
That's not so. I mean, it's
Uh-huh.
just that the body is being allowed to sleep. So in that sense, it is Jivan is in the state of active, and it is not making the body to act according to its wishes. So that is the only thing that is there.
Okay. Okay, so that's how we see that there's also sentience and some kind of behavior, at least at the mental level, in this state also.
At the mental level, yes, there is. So one is thinking about people, one is thinking about this, but not really acting on it. That's the thing.
Sentient Chaitanya, the unit constituted of the 5 activities of hope, thought, desire, resolve, and realization of existence is referred to as the sentient. The cause of development and awakening of the sentient aspect is sanskar, developed through attributes and intrinsic nature. Sanskar is attained through study, practice in behavior, and practice in work. So all these 3 have to be there for sanskar to be attained. We have to read the text, think about it deeply, contemplate about it. We have to practice it in our daily behavior around us. We cannot just sit in a room 24 hours for many years and not behave and just study. We also have to practice it in our behavior, and we also have to align our work according to the darshan, or to how existence and reality is. The study is only of insentient, sentient nature and omnipresence, and it is accomplished only by way of knowledge, wisdom, and science. So these 3 things are what existence is made of: insentient, sentient nature, and omnipresence. So insentient nature would be Gatanshil atoms. I don't know exactly the word translation of Gatanshil. Maybe someone can help. And sentient would be Gatanpurn atoms. Yeah, I don't know the translation.
For Gatanshil, I think we are using evolving constitution, and Gatanpurn is constitutionally complete.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And it is accomplished by way of knowledge, wisdom, and science. So knowledge means the understanding of existence, of jivan, and of human behavior. Wisdom, he explains in the next Anubhuti, and science is, yeah, I once heard that knowledge is the what, wisdom is the why, and science is the how. Yeah, how to behave and how to embody the whole knowledge and wisdom. The study by way of wisdom leads to the enlightenment of immortality of jivan, mortality of the body, and the laws of behavior. Also, human goal and jivan values become clear. This enlightenment leads to increasingly further refinement in susanskar. Here he's explaining wisdom a little bit more, and what is noteworthy here is that it encompasses immortality of jivan and mortality of the body. And now in modernity, and especially also in the West, for example, we do not think so much of some immortal self or immortal jivan, which is there. We accept ourselves more as the body, which is mortal, of course, and because we accept ourselves as the body, we try to always rejuvenate the body and stay young and never die in the form of the body. So just a little anecdote. Last year there was the elections for European Parliament, and there were many parties who participated, also in Germany. And there was one new party, which I found very interesting. It is in English called Party for Biomedical Rejuvenation Research. So the whole aim of the party is to They also had so many posters on the streets, and their whole aim. I looked at the Wikipedia article also of them, was to do research on how we can stay young and live for thousands of years. So that's the aim of this party. And also they wrote in the Wikipedia article that all other political matters they are neutral on. Just this one is what they are up to. So this was just a little anecdote around this. But yeah, we focus so much on the body and see ourselves as the body and don't realize that there's something like a Jivan that we try to make this body live, for thousands of years. And
A question here, Kevin. Did this party win any seats or did they get
I don't
representation?
think so. I don't think so. No, it's a little. I think only they have 321 members. I looked it up today, but they had many posters in the city center and everywhere. So yeah, I don't think they won any seats, but I'll find out and let you know in the next session if there was.
Please go ahead.
Um, the laws of behavior are with the goal of protecting humaneness. The goal of protecting humaneness reflects in humane perspectives, propensities, tendencies, attributes, intrinsic nature, and behavior. This goal is accomplished only through dissemination, exhibition, and inspiration by individuals with humane behavior, as well as protection and encouragement of humaneness through societal programs by a capable society and systems based on policies. So I found it very interesting that he's saying that humanity or humane behavior or humaneness has to be protected also by humans or individuals with humane behavior who give us inspiration, and by societal programs who keep the society together. So this is something which I found very interesting, that we all have some very active part in, of course, first establishing humane behavior and humaneness, and then also in keeping it intact. It's not like when it's there once, then it's just all going by itself. It also has to be kept intact. The means with differentiation of cultural and natural are available for the external behavior of humans. Sanskar and culture is the prior form, is the state of mind of the behavior performed by humans as adherents to customs. So here we have means for the external behavior of humans, and these are of two kinds, cultural and natural. So for example, natural means if we put a tree, if we grow a tree somewhere, then this is also some kind of behavior because it affects other humans and the nature around us. Other people maybe eat something from it, or they breathe in the air from this tree. So also the natural resources are means for us for human behavior. Humane culture becomes apparent in the form of physical appearance, might, wealth, and societal status through evidence of realization. The natural resources are differentiated as kinds of minerals, vegetation, and animals. So these are the natural resources, minerals, vegetation, and animals. Yeah, I found it very interesting that there are animals as natural resources because I see it in my family and also in friend circles. And I also felt like this for a very long time, that animals are like family members or very close to us. We see something very human in them. I think that they are better than humans because they have a definite conduct in contrast to us humans at the moment. So here he says that they are also part of the natural resources like minerals and vegetation. Yeah, and minerals, for example, at the moment we are digging them out of the earth in very big proportions, although we might not need them. Yeah, maybe we can use just very little for medicinal purposes. Yeah, as in Ayurveda, for example, you use very minute doses for medicinal purposes, but yeah, at the moment we are just digging them out very mindlessly and not using them in the righteous way, which is the next Anubhuti. Humans are developed units of sentient nature, therefore they have the opportunity to righteously utilize and protect natural abundance, as well as misuse it due to delusion. This is because the developed have the possibility of evidencing utilization, righteous utilization, and purposeful utilization of the undeveloped, while the possibility of their misutilization remains due to delusion, wherein humans become happy only through utilization and righteous utilization. Also, we saw this point several times in the last chapter, which I talked about at the last time. That utilization and righteous utilization is the only way for us to become happy. But as we also have karma svatantrata and imagination as humans, we can also misutilize these resources. And righteous utilization, we also had at the last time with which I was talking about righteous utilization of the body, mind, and health also, which Nagaraj wrote. So righteous utilization also always means that we are using these resources for the awakening of ourselves and of others. Yeah, that always is implicit in this term righteous utilization. But I would find it very interesting to hear more maybe later about the difference between utilization, righteous utilization, and purposeful utilization. Yeah, maybe someone could say more about the difference between these three later. The balance or imbalance of climate takes place as a result of righteous utilization or misutilization of natural abundance, respectively. So this I also mentioned earlier. The good thing about this, about the imbalance of climate which we see now, is that we are forced as humanity to change our behavior, to think about what we are doing and if it is the right way in which we are doing it, and if we can, because I also thought like this for a very long time, that we can make the earth the way we want it, and now we have to realize as humanity that actually there are these laws in existence according to which we have to shape our lives and to be happy and to make this earth worthwhile living for a long time. So it's not like we can come up with something and then shape the world around it. Actually, we have to understand the laws as they are and then change our behavior. So we are forced to do this now through also the change of climate, and everyone around the world, not everyone, but many people around the world are now thinking about how we as humans and humanity should change our way of living, which is something unprecedented. I think before it was on a very individual level. Some people were thinking very far and then were going after these thoughts. But now, as a whole, as humanity, we are forced to change our behavior. The measure of climate in a region, cold, heat, rain, depends on the proportion of minerals and vegetation present there, which is determined mathematically through tests and surveys. So if we create this imbalance in minerals and vegetation, the climate also gets imbalanced. The societal balance or imbalance depends on the behavior of rightfully or wrongfully owned wealth, marital faithfulness or adultery, and behavior based on kindness or malice. So also like the climate has become imbalanced. Also, there's a societal imbalance, which we see, which is because of pardhan, parnari, parpurush, parpira, or wrongfully owned wealth, adultery, and malice. So this also we have to change to keep a societal balance also, which is at least equally important, like the climate balance for us to live on this planet peacefully. Rightfully owned wealth, svadhan. The wealth obtained as remuneration, gifts, or awards is referred to as rightfully owned wealth. Otherwise, it is referred to as wrongfully owned wealth. Marital faithfulness, svanari svapurush. The marital faithfulness refers to loyalty towards marriage as determined by society based on geographical conditions. Otherwise, it is referred to as adultery. And kindness, daya. Kindness refers to being as helpful as possible for the development of others and not interfering in their development, awakening. Conduct contrary to this is referred to as malice. So here kindness is explained as being helpful for the development of or awakening of someone. So this is something which is very is to be pointed out, because often one might think that kindness just means that you give someone, some beggar, some money, or some help a dog who is on the street or something like this. Maybe would be the first things which when we thought about kindness. But here he says that always it has to be in the context of awakening, to be helpful for awakening. So maybe instead of giving someone something, it might be better to teach them something through which they can help themselves in the long run, or so it is not just about doing one good work a day. It is having this big broader view of awakening in mind also. Birth rights, conferred rights, and circumstantial rights are the different ways by which humans gain the rights to fulfill their duties. I found very interesting here that it says humans gain the rights to fulfill their duties, because often I would think that, or often it is thought that when we say right, it is I have the right to say whatever I want, or I have the right to do whatever I want, or I have the right to dress the way I want. So often the word right is in some context with an individual and being able to do what I like, what I want. But here it says that actually we have the right to fulfill our duties. And duties are often looked at like not something which is making us happy, something which we have to do, which is not if we were free of duties, then we would be happier or more relaxed. This is something which one could think, but here actually the opposite is being talked about, that as humans we have certain rights, and these are always coming together with duties and responsibilities. So here he enumerates the rights which we have. Birth rights pertain to relationships, conferred rights pertain to the scope of the system, circumstantial rights pertain to associations. And then we are starting with the birth rights, which are pertaining to relationships. Relationships, sambandh. Relationships are in the form of father, mother, and son, daughter, brother, sister, husband, wife, master, associate, guru, disciple, friends, and relationships with the system. So also I found it very interesting that this is our birthright, that we have a birthright of relationships. This is something which, yeah, I have never heard before, actually, which had a impact when I read it on me. That this is something very human. These relationships are a right which we have, and as we saw also before, they come with duties which we shall fulfill to also find happiness. Conferred rights are differentiated by their conferment from family, society, or the system. Family conferred rights are meant for achieving goals distinguished by upholding the familial duties and responsibilities, nurturing of character, and provision of sustenance and livelihood. So as I said before in my life, definitely I thought that the less duties and responsibilities I would have, the happier I would be. But now here he says actually that the opposite is true, that yeah, duties and responsibilities are something which make us human and which make us happy. Society conferred rights are meant for upholding the duties assigned by society, promoting dignified personality and meaningful literature, and conducting research on the principles. System conferred rights are meant for upholding the duties within the system, facilitating study of principles in scriptures with skill, proficiency, and mastery, fostering perfection in work and behavior, and developing personality with authority, which lead to its success, otherwise failure. Circumstantial rights are exercised in behavior according to the time and circumstances. This one, I think, the ones before are more or less clear, but this one, the circumstantial rights are exercised in behavior according to the time and circumstances. Maybe we could talk about this later, because the other ones are very, he says, explains them very clearly, study of principles and scriptures with skill, etc. But here, this is more vague. According to time and circumstances, there are circumstantial rights. So yeah, I would find it interesting to hear from Sanjeev Bhaiya or Rakesh Bhaiya what exactly that would mean.
Yeah, the way I understand it, Kevin, is that, like there may be some kind of natural calamities at some places, at some times. You have a earthquake, or you have floods or volcanoes or something. And all the systems which are made to deal with normal life fail at that time. Okay. So the people who happen to be there at that time, some kind of a working hierarchy, who knows more at that time about how to deal with this situation, they are conferred with such rights or authority.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so the normal systems which we design in our day-to-day life, they are under normal circumstances. But in exceptional circumstances, you do not know who will be there. Okay, so then it will evolve there. You know.
Okay.
So according to it will maybe someone knows swimming, someone knows about firefighting. So they will be conferred the rights. That kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. The hope for happiness is a constant in every human. It is only in its pursuit that the acceptance of lawful and unlawful takes place through consciousness development value education. Happiness and unhappiness are based only on policies of behavior at the individual, family, familial, societal, national, and international levels. So here we see that these are the 5 levels on which we act on. And if we want to be happy, then on all these levels, we have to have flawless behavior. It's not like at the individual level, person to person or familial level, we have to have good conduct and behavior, but also on societal, national, and international levels. And everyone more or less has all these levels of behavior in their day-to-day life. Among the 6 perspectives for behavioral policy described earlier, only the behavior based on humane perspectives leads to the happiness of all humans. So the humane perspectives here are justice, dharma, and truth, and only behavior based on these perspectives leads to the happiness of all humans. A deluded human behaves and works out of fear and incentive with inhumane perspective, since they are the independent while performing actions and dependent when experiencing their consequences. As a result, they suffer in unhappiness and obstruct their own awakening. So if we are behaving out of inhumane perspective instead of humane perspective, as said earlier, so if inhumane perspective encompasses liking, health, and profit, if we work from this perspective, then we're working out of fear and incentive, and we become unhappy. Humans are the most developed entities in this universe, progressive towards awakening, and have the potential of evidencing awakening. This is why humans embody the attributes, intrinsic nature, and dharma of the other 3 orders of nature, namely material order, biological order, and animal order. Here, I think it is noteworthy to mention that he says that humans are the most developed entities in this universe, not only in just on this planet, but in the whole universe. Yeah, we are very much very often looking for some life in outer space and maybe think that there might be something which is more developed than us, but here he makes the opposite statement. Humans have wished for becoming happy through intellectual resolution and material prosperity. Material prosperity is possible through the study of scientific laws and practice of those laws in work. Likewise, intellectual resolution is possible through the study of the laws of wisdom and regulation accordingly. So material prosperity, as also in the last session we had, will be attained through gathering and production in natural abundance, and intellectual resolution through the study of laws and also the regulation of our behavior. A healthy body holds a significant position in maintaining healthy behavior, which is possible only through due regulation of prana. For example, in Nagraj, I only heard about it. I never met him, but I heard that he had a brain stroke at 92 or 90. 4 around years of age. And before we see him as the role model for healthy behavior. And after this stroke, I heard he exhibited some childlike behavior. For example, he only wanted someone to let him bind his shoes and not some other person, or he talked in Malayalam instead of Hindi to someone who did not understand the language. So these are examples of how a healthy body also holds significance in our healthy behavior, because Jivan is intact, but the if Jivan is pushing some buttons and the brain cannot process this in the right way, then there's nothing or no outcome or some wrong outcome. Like if you push the buttons of a keyboard and the keyboard is broken, then either nothing is coming out or maybe some other letter is coming out. Although you are pressing G, some H is coming out. So also like this is it is with the body. So that's why also we have to yeah, put some focus on keeping the body healthy. Nutrition leads to nourishment of pran, occupation leads to prosperity, restraint leads to control over wastage, scientific understanding leads to holistic view of the material world, understanding of wisdom leads to holistic view of consciousness, behavioral understanding leads to holistic view of the society, understanding of economics leads to holistic view of the systems, and comprehensive resolution leads to realization in omnipresence and holistic view of existence. Pran is a kind of air from which the heart gets stimulation for its activity. The air is a measure of matter with motion and wave arising from the commingle of many gaseous substances. The airs of 5 kinds, pran, apan, vyan, udan, and saman. At this point, I would also have some more, would like to have some more explanation on, yeah, later or now. Also, we see one more point underneath pran. Maybe I first read this out also. Pran air is for strengthening and nourishing the body and biological cells. Apan air is unnecessary and debilitating for the body. Vyan air is useful for the body. Udan air is meant for controlling the body. And Saman air is meant for growth of the body. The equilibrium of these 5 kinds of airs depends on the associated sentient units' customs, policies, and circumstances of thought, food, lifestyle, and behavior. So here we see that for our health to be good, pran is very important, and pran is subdivided into 5 categories: pran, apan, vyan, udan, and saman. And the equilibrium of these 5 types of air are what maintains good health. And the equilibrium is being established by good policies and customs of thought, food, lifestyle, and behavior. So what is interesting here is that food and lifestyle would be something which we would recognize how it has a direct impact on our health, but also thought and behavior play a role here, he says. And for example, in Ayurveda, there's the concept of achara sayan, which means behavior that has a rejuvenating effect or good effect on our health. Like, for example, they say being free from anger and speaking the truth. Yeah. So here also Enagraj says that our thoughts and our behavior also play a crucial role in our health together with food and lifestyle. So, for example, when someone is in fear or someone is angry, then the heart beats very quickly and chemicals get released, only which usually would be released in a fight or flight situation, although there's no emergency situation at such, and maybe at that time. So all these effects take a toll also on our health, and they are dependent on our thought and also on our behavior. If we have very bad behavior, then we know that there will come retaliation and we live in fear, and these chemicals get released. We cannot sleep as well as before, etc. But here he's saying that pran is important for our health, and saying telling us about these five upadoshas in Ayurveda. Actually, it is called the five subdivisions of this dosha of Vayu, of Vat. But in Ayurveda, there are also two other doshas, Pitta and Kapha, as all of you know. So these he does not mention here. So I've wanted to know how is it, or why is it that only he's mentioning pran or vayu here instead of also the other doshas? Don't they play a big role in the health, or has he mentioned them in some other place in the books? That's something which I wanted to know.
See, Kevin, I think that as far as this particular anubhuti is concerned, the author is talking about air only. So, if you see this
Okay.
Vayu part, this is common in all the five categories: pran, Vayu, apan, Vayu, which translates to air in English. So in English we are putting the word air for that. Now, honestly speaking, I understand out of these five, the first two ones. Okay, so the position where I am, what I understand is that pran air is something like oxygen. Okay, it is for strengthening and nourishing the body and biological cells. Okay. Apan air is, what I would assume to be indicating carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and things like that, which are poisonous for body. Like if we do not have the first one and have only the second one, then it is harmful for the. Okay, so this is how, and then these other three things, I am also trying to understand, so we'll keep it pending for the timing. Unless someone else is there in the group who understands, they are free to explain.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, it says that the air is a measure of matter with motion and a wave arising from the commingle of many gaseous substances. So that also would be interesting to know if this is something which has already been detected by machines and taken into research by normal researchers of the body, etc., or if this is something else.
I think probably, like there are so many gases in the atmosphere. We have nitrogen, we have oxygen. All that is part of the air around us. Okay, so when I read this sentence arising from the commingle of many gaseous substances, the idea that comes to my mind is what the author is saying is that there are many gases around us, and then which finally we put the word air to that, the combination, the commingle of all those gaseous substances. Then one part of them is helpful for the body. Okay, it is for strengthening and nourishing the body and biological cells. which an example is oxygen. And then there is another part which is unnecessary, harmful and debilitating for the body, which is like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and could be some other gases. Okay. The other three categories I have also not fully understood.
Okay. Good.
Spencer
Maybe.
wants to say something. Yeah.
Well, just my guess. It's not with conclusiveness, but what can make sense to me is that, in the digestive process, similarly, that like when you break down the solids, like many gases will also be created in that process. And perhaps, some need to be eliminated, but for some, the composition might be incorporated into the body, useful gases. So that could be the growth of the body, something which is helpful in the controlling, which is related to the neurology and all those systems. So this is my general sense that in the digestive process, some things are produced and some will be released and some will incorporate. Just like with food, some solids are released and some solids are incorporated into the cells and the neurons and everything like that.
Yes. Good thought, actually.
Yeah, but I would also find it interesting to know if here this pran vayu here is exactly the same as in Ayurveda, because for Saman Vayu, for example, is in the stomach, helping the digestion, and Udan is also for helping us speak, etc. So if they are, if they are completely same, or if this is a little bit different.
Sheila Didi and or Drishta, they will have something to say on that. Please go ahead.
Just this much, that these words, if anybody is familiar with Ayurveda, they will know these meanings. Because I remember that in naturopathy also we learned these words, and they are actual gases only, and they have specific properties and physical properties basically. So ye hai, there it is known in these words are familiar in yoga. So if anybody knows yoga, they can or who has studied yoga in our group, we can consult them. I think Gonu is the only person that I know. Shifali, we can find out from them.
Right, Vivi. Thank you.
Then I continue. Food is in the form of nutrition and medicine. Food, ahar, that which has substances worthy for consumption is referred to as food. Medicine, aushadhi, the substance used for the treatment of physical or mental ailments, is referred to as medicine. And nutrition, anna, the substance used for bodily nourishment and growth, are referred to as nutrition. I think there's either an S missing, the substances are referred to, or the substance is referred to. Yeah, and that's what I prepared for today, and from the next day onwards, Supriya, my wife, will continue. Yeah, that's what I have. So I wanted to stop a little earlier so that we can have some discussion if there are questions.
Very, very good going, Kevin, and I really loved your presentation.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And I remember last time you said that you were worried about your reputation. I will say it is intact, not only intact, it is growing.
Thank you.
And you developed a very good understanding of it, and it was very nice to hear your descriptions and explanations. So
yeah, thank you very much. It was a good practice for me, definitely, to sit down and read the text after quite some time, and to think about the meaning actually, because often when I read the text, then I just read without any dots and commas and just yeah. So here you have to really make some thoughts about it. So that was a good.
Yeah, it's a
ambiance.
good thing actually
Mhm.
to agree to participate in such sessions, because I
Mhm.
have personally found it in myself also that the more we agree to participate in such sessions, it helps to develop our own understanding, because
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
before the presentation we read it a few times, we think about it, which if we are not presenting, then we sometimes just skip over a few sentences or a few words. But when we are presenting, then we want to understand every single word and sentence,
Mhm.
which forces us to think more about it, maybe sometimes to consult others also before the presentation, or after the presentation. So it's very helpful. I'm very glad that a lot of youngsters are, participating in these sessions. So,
Mhm.
excellent. The forum is open for questions. Anything which Kevin presented last time and today, if there are any questions, this is the time.
Yeah, Kevin, I just wanted to say it was really nice listening to you present. And I really like the way that you took your time with each point and shared a lot of your own thoughts, or how you used to think, or how other people may think. I found that very useful, because it's your thoughts are not just your own. Like, we all have thought or think that way, or have that somewhere, in the back of your mind, whether it's about animals or whatever, pets or anything. So I found that very interesting, or very nice to listen to you share. And I'm glad that you did that. And the one point that I really liked that stood out to me, just which I've read many times before, but just the way you shared it became more clear, is that there's the natural the arrangement of the soils, or the minerals, the trees, and those things create climate balance, when there's the right proportion of the. And then immediately after, he says the societal balance is caused by the character, own husband, wife, own wealth, kind work and behavior. And somehow I just never clicked the two, even though they're right after each other,
Mhm. Mhm.
that yes, there is a social climate as well, you
Mhm.
know, and
Mhm.
and there's lots of climate change in
Mhm.
society as well, and I can feel just where I am right now. I am living between two places a little bit, and where I am right now, there's a lot more, not a lot, but from what I'm used to, like a little bit more fear of like someone stealing or robbing. You have to lock your doors more, and it's not a nice feeling, and you live with that. It's in the climate, it's just like exists in the environment here, in the same way you step outside and, oh, it's a very warm summer. Here there's a lot of a climate of some fear, so yeah, we need to get balance in the social climate as well.
Mhm.
And just by, yeah, I guess, living with character, we can fight that climate change.
Mhm. Very nice. Yeah, thank you very much.
I,
I
I just
also never made
like
this
that connection.
connection, but yeah, through preparing for this text, this connection somehow came before. I also never thought about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Sorry, I'm just
sharing.
getting a phone call. One second.
Yeah, like what Spencer mentioned, I fully endorse that. It was very, very good connection that you established. Like, I mean, it was very striking. The the natural climate and the social climate. Although it is written there, but the way you brought it out, the way you shared, you interconnected the two was like very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely one
Any,
point for me
yeah,
to
yeah,
take
yeah.
away also, one of the highlights.
Uh, Any other sharing, feedback, observations, or questions?
Yeah. Hi, Kevin. It was, very nice listening to you. I really enjoyed. I just have a question. It's more a curiosity because I know you also speak Hindi, and so I'm curious. Usually, if you read the darshan, do you read more in Hindi or English?
Until now, I've only read it in Hindi, actually, only for these two exercises. The last one also, the translation session which we had, the reading session, and this one now. Other than that, only in Hindi. Although, yeah, at the moment and the last year, especially after Kevalya's birth, I haven't been reading much. More listening to some YouTube videos of Sadhan and Sriram, etc. When I cook something or so, then I have a little bit time to do that. But if I read, then in Hindi. But now, through this exercise in reading it in English, many things came to the forefront for me, which probably wouldn't have stood out so much if I read them in Hindi, because the translation is very good, and if you read it in a language which is closer to your own mother tongue, which is German, then there are more connections than if I read it in Devanagari and Hindi. Sometimes it's just like when I see the Devanagari, it's just like there's some pasta on the paper and I'm just mixing everything up also and just keep on reading. But with the English, it is more, I read word for word and sentence for sentence. So that's the difference. So maybe I should do this more. Yeah.
Nice. So you also find it helpful, the translation, like
Definitely, yeah.
to have both. You can
Yeah, definitely.
it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Anyone else? Well, if that's so, probably we can close the session.
Mhm.
And Kevin, thank you very much. And we look forward to hearing from you in some future sessions, which
Thank you.
may be organized.
Mhm.
And thanks again. We wrap up today's session, and we'll resume on the coming Saturday with the next session. Till then, it's goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very
Namaskar.
much.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Kevin. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
And good day to
Thank you.
Spencer,
Yes.
and good evening to Kevin.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice evening. Bye.
Bye bye.